Well, I just managed to finish Metroid on NES for the first time, so here's my review on the game. So while I've played Metroid 1 a lot over the years, I never got that far into the game. I'd collect a couple power-ups, and then the next time I hopped back into the game, just start over and do the same thing. It was kind of an endless cycle, but I had a lot of respect for this game before playing it just because, it's like the pioneer of the Metroidvania style of game, which I've really grown to enjoy over the years. So Metroid, the style of gameplay is, of course, you start off pretty much bare bones, right? You have no power-ups, you're pretty weak, and throughout the game you get new weapons and different abilities to help you not only reach previously inaccessible locations, but also make you stronger against the enemies throughout the game. So although I had a lot of respect for the game beforehand, going back and actually playing through the entire game, it's given me a lot more respect for the first Metroid game. So although I had a lot of respect for this game before playing through it, I can honestly say that having, sat down and given the time to play through this whole game, it's really made me just really appreciate this game a lot more. In fact, it's, I'd have to say it's probably my new favorite NES game as of right now, because of just how much I enjoyed playing through this one. So even though this has become my new favorite NES game, I will be completely honest and say that I did have to use a map. So unlike a lot of later entries in the Metroid series, there's no in-game map. You either have to draw out your own, which I did try to do this, but ultimately the planet Zebes, it's a complete labyrinth. Some of the item locations are completely absurd, and even after spending hours in the game, there's no way you would find some of them. So I'm really glad I made the decision to jump over to a map because it made my experience in this game just far more enjoyable. And I don't think that it took too much away from the challenge as well, because this game is still very challenging. It's very unforgiving at times. Not only does it not have a traditional save feature, instead, in this game, you use password saves, so every time you die, a password will appear on the screen and you can write it down and enter it when you come back into the game. Now, you don't have to enter this every single time. When you do die, you save, it saves all your power-ups pretty much, but the most unforgiving part of this game is that when you respawn, you have 30 health. You're back down to 30 health, so you have to make this half-hour grind to get back, to fill up your energy tanks again, depending on how many of those you've found in the game. It takes a really long time. At the end of the day, I really enjoyed my experience with this game, and it has given me that newfound respect for Metroid 1 on the NES. Now, it hasn't aged the greatest, of course, it's really unforgiving in its NES difficulty, but I will say that I'm really happy to have played through this one, and I definitely understand, why it's so well respected. Would I recommend that you start with this one on the NES? Probably not. I'm going to be completely honest. I think this is one that you should definitely try out at some point. If you're interested in playing through, Samus' first mission, then I would highly recommend checking out Metroid Zero Mission, which is a full remake of this one. There's countless quality of life improvements in that game. It's got a traditional save feature, it's got a full map, and the game is definitely a lot more polished, of course, being a much later release on the Game Boy Advance. So I would highly recommend starting off with Metroid Zero Mission if you're just getting into the series, or if you want to experience Samus' first mission. So although I might not recommend playing through this entry in the series first, I would definitely say play through some of the newer games, play through stuff like Zero Mission, Fusion, maybe Dread or something, and then go back and at least try this one out, and maybe look up a map if you're interested in playing through the whole game, as it made this game far more enjoyable for me personally. So I had a blast playing through this one, but let me know your thoughts on the first Metroid, and thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.